Hi friends, today we'll be talking about the regulation of glutamine synthetase by covalent modification. We also saw the regulation of glutamine synthetase by allosteric modification in our earlier video. This seems to be complex kind of regulation, but come on, let us make it simpler. I'll make few key important points clear to you. Like glutamine synthetase, as the name suggests, is under covalent modification. It exists in two forms. One, the adenylated form, which is attached with AMP, and the other, the deadenylated form without the AMP. Remember, the adenylated form is inactive. So I hope you are clear. The adenylated form of glutamine synthetase is inactive, whereas the deadenylated form of glutamine synthetase is active. So if you want to have this enzyme more in the active form, we had seen the enzyme was complex, it had 12 identical subunits. You deadenylate most of the subunits. So if most of the subunits are deadenylated, the enzyme is active. If most of the subunits are adenylated, having the AMP, the enzyme will be inactive. So you are clear that if you want the activity of the enzyme, deadenylate it. If you do not want the activity of the enzyme, adenylate it. Who will add this adenyl group or AMP group? It is the adenyl transferase. Depending on what are the metabolites required by the cell, what is the amount of glutamine required by the cell, the activity of this adenyl transferase will be regulated. Now who will control the activity of this adenyl transferase, which is either adding the adenyl group or removing the adenyl group, is another regulatory protein, that is P2. Don't get confused. So now AT, that is adenyl transferase, is now combined with another particular residue or protein, regulatory protein called as P2. So it is P2 who will decide whether the adenyl group will be added or adenyl group will be removed. But P2 again is under covalent modification control. How? By uridylation. So if P2 molecule is uridylated, so there is an enzyme called as uridyl transferase which transfers the uridyl group to this P2. So if P2 molecule is combined with the uridyl group, that is UMP, which comes from UTP, this uridylated P2 combines with adenyl transferase and catalyzes deadenylation, making the enzyme active. So I hope you are clear. P2 combined with UMP removes the AMP from here and makes the enzyme active. If the same P2 is not combined with UMP, in that case, this P2, it combines with AT and catalyzes adenylation, that is makes the enzyme inactive. So basically, if you want the enzyme in the active form, to sum up, this P2 should be uridylated. So if this P2 is uridylated, then the enzyme will be active, glutamine synthetase will be active. So who controls this uridylation and deuridylation? You can see the end product of this pathway. Here you have glutamine. After hydrolysis of ATP, you have PI. So if these two are in excess, logically, so if we have glutamine is in excess, this PI is in excess. If these two are in excess, we do not want the activity of the enzyme because we have sufficient amount of glutamine. In this case, this glutamine and inorganic phosphate, both you can see, they act as the inhibitor for uridylation. So if this is not uridylated, you will find that the enzyme goes for adenylation where glutamine synthetase, its activity is reduced. So it turns inactive. If there is large amount of alpha ketoglutarate and ATP, which are the substrates for glutamine synthetase, so if you have a large amount of alpha ketoglutarate and a large amount of ATP, that will increase the level of uridylation of P2. So lot of alpha ketoglutarate and lot of ATP will stimulate uridylation. So P2 will now be uridylated, enzyme will be deadenylated and it will be turned active. So glutamine synthetase, it is complexly regulated depending on the levels of glutamine and PI, which stop the activity of glutamine synthetase, and alpha ketoglutarate and ATP, which increase the activity. The control does not stop here. This P2, it also regulates the synthesis of glutamine synthetase at the transcription level. So basically, this it is known that uridylated P2 protein, it goes and binds those proteins, goes and binds the DNA and increases the transcription level of glutamine synthetase, so that now the cell has more amount of glutamine synthetase. But if this P2 is not uridylated, it goes and stops the transcription of the gene which codes for this glutamine synthetase. So now basically the cell will have a less amount of glutamine synthetase in the enzyme. So here at the enzyme level and even at the transcription level, there is a control of this particular P2. Thank you.